Hey guys, welcome to Monday. I haven't gone to sleep yet. I live in New York time. I don't live in New York, but I live in the New York time. But I took a trade last night, and so I wasn't anticipating being awake for the whole trade. I have to stay awake though because my Wi-Fi can be a little unpredictable sometimes, and I don't like to just get into a trade and then fall asleep just in case my internet fails. So I'm going to show you my trade. If you guys are interested, let me know if you want to see it, and I'll take you through it. And if not, I just want to kind of go over what I'm looking at this morning, even though I've been in this trade since 20 minutes of the market opening last night. So at about 6:22, I entered the trade here. So you can see the time was 18:14. Yeah, so 14 minutes into the opening of the market last night, I entered the trade. Hey from Florida, GXD Trades. How you doing? Thanks for joining. Just saying I was in this trade all night last night. I don't usually trade Asia, but I'm working on my psychology this year, and there are some exercises I'm taking myself through to be able to navigate longer trades. This one was I think it was just over 100 points, and it was an 11 RR, but it was very low position size. So like, again, like I'm working on my psychology to be able to hold these trades long, to anticipate where I should trail my stop. And what I'm working towards is being able to take these longer trades with more position size. That's basically what I'm doing. So let's just let's just take a look here on the 4 hour, and I'll just kind of show you what I'm looking at this morning. I've got ES on my left here, which I'll sort out in a second, and I'm on NQ, obviously on the new contract. On the right-hand side here, I have the 4 hour candles, and I like to have 5 of them. I watch the 4 hour candle as it opens, and ideally I want to be entering on the wick or as close to the wick as possible, whether that's to the upside or the downside. So you'll see the 4 hour candle here, and if you're interested in how to get it on your chart, it'll be in the description of this video once it's posted. So here we are. This was the sell side of the market maker model. This is the buy side of the market maker model. You can see that on the 4 hour, we are just moving higher. I have these two areas here marked out as my point of interest. And the first area of interest is this blue box here. Price has come to this area multiple times, 7 times, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. So there's liquidity resting just below here. And then this is a SIBI that has not yet been accessed by price. I've also put a little notation here. I'm watching it in case it turns out to be a mitigation block. So, you know, we won't know until if price gets closer. It might go right through and then go for all-time highs, or it might hit sweep liquidity and then turn around and move down. So anyway, so I made a little notation there that this could be a mitigation block, and that is on the daily. So if you go to your daily chart, you can find this SIBI, and I've just thrown it on my chart here. And then we have just a few SIBIs from price dropping last week and the week before. And I've just been using these SIBIs as stepping stones for price to move up. And that's basically it on the higher time frame. I'm going to move down to the 1 hour. So here we are again. And down below I have my BISIs. So when price drops, which could be after Christmas or it could be this week, I have no idea. But once it starts dropping, then I just pull these BISIs aside and I use these as sort of stepping stones for price to uh, show me if it wants to use these PD arrays as resistance or support. So that's basically where I'm at. Uh, I'm going to go to the 5-minute chart. I tend to stay on the 5-minute chart or a little bit higher until price comes into an area of interest for me. So the next area of interest, let me just go to the 15-minute for a second. The next area of interest is basically these two SIBIs up here. I'm not sure we're going to get up there. We're already at 25,776. And the SIBI starts at 25,879. It's a no news Monday, so I'm not sure we're gonna get there this morning. We might have a pullback, probably have a pullback. It would be very interesting to get up to this level on a no news Monday on the week of Christmas. I'm wearing my hat because I live in Canada and I washed my hair this morning and took my dog for a walk, so I'm freezing. It's probably because I've been awake all night too. Anyway, that's where I'm at, and this is not a signal service. I may not even take a trade because I took a trade last night, and so I'm going to be tape reading. I don't wish anybody to trade. It's high risk. You could lose money. I'm not an expert. I study ICT. I've been studying ICT for 2 years. I have my model, and I wait for my setup to arrive, and that's the model that I trade. My model is based on market maker, the buy side, the sell side, key levels. Then I'm looking for smart money reversal. Smart money reversal, the signature is price comes into a key area, purchase liquidity. We have displacement, change in the state of delivery, inverted fair value gap, breaker block, and an SMT. And those are the characteristics of my smart money reversal, and it has to be at the right time. The right time meaning that has to appear in a macro, not a signal service. Right. Especially after being awake all night. You guys definitely do not want to be trading anything that I'm trading this morning. Anyway, I don't know that I'm going to take a trade, but we've been moving up all night, so there might be a nice pullback, uh, because price is obviously moving up here, right? So that's what we discussed yesterday when we did our live charts for the week. So there should be no surprise this morning. We anticipated um, a move up this morning, and that's exactly what we had. Okay. So these are a little bit hard to see, I think, but these are my boxes. This one is Asia. I'm just going to take the SMT off for a second so you can see just a little better. This here, I'm going to pull this aside. Here is Asia. I'm going to move to the 5 minutes so you can see this a little better. Here is Asia. Asia trended last night, so there was no ranging. And so London, the first 90 minutes, the second 90 minutes, price was moving up. We had a little bit of a pullback. London pulled back a little bit. I was a little nervous because I was in my trade and I was thinking, okay, I'm pretty sure price is going bullish all night, but you know how you get that scared feeling that your stop is going to get taken. So I had a very nice wide stop last night because I really did want to see price come as far up as possible. Okay, so then this is the third cycle. So I look at time cycles. I trade time cycles as well. And these are broken down into 90-minute cycles. And then in each 90-minute cycle, you can see these other tiny little boxes, and these are 30-minute cycles. If I am trading London or New York PM, I use the 30-minute cycles. But when I'm trading New York AM session, I'm using the 90-minute cycles. And yeah, so here are my candles. Here are my 4-hour candles. And you can open these up on your chart and you can change if you want to see, if you want to see maybe the 1 hour, you just change it to 1 hour. If you want to see, I like mine on the 4-hour because you'll see why at 10 o'clock when the next 4-hour candle opens up. I'll show you why. Number of candles, you can, put 4 candles on there. I like to have 5. It's just the setup that works well for me. You can change color, and this line here, this black line, is the opening price of each 4-hour candle. So the last 4-hour candle that opened was at 6 a.m. and this was the opening price, which just comes right over nicely onto your chart. So, and what you can do is, say you want to watch the 4-hour candle and maybe the daily candle as well. All you have to do is download the indicator twice and open up both, and then you can change one of the 4-hour candles to the daily candle if you want. So anyway, that's just a little, I use this a lot. It's a great confluence for me on my trades. The other thing here, this offset button. So let's say you're working maybe on a large screen and just watching price here. You can make the candles move further away from your price action here. And if you're on a mobile, you can bring them closer. So I'm just going to stay on the 5-minute. I just want to get a sense of where price is going here. Let me know in the chat what time frame you guys are on when the market opens here. Thanks, I appreciate that. Yeah, I feel like I've made amazing progress recently. Okay, so just looking, I'm on the 5-minute. I like to stay on the 5-minute just till I get a sense of where price wants to sweep. It could go for London low. It could go for AM low and turn around and go right back up. So the thing is, on the higher time frame, I'm still bullish, right? Like we ascertained last night that it's likely that price is moving towards this area here. I'm not married to that idea, but let's just take a look here what price wants to sweep. Now, I rarely get into a trade before 10 a.m. because I want to see the 10 a.m. candle open. I'm going to just move down to the 2-minute just to get slightly better idea of what's happening here. Now, I don't know if you guys look at this chart and go, "Oh my God, Louisa, like, why aren't you taking that short?" Well, I don't chase trades. I'm bullish, so I would prefer to take a bullish trade, and I'm just letting the market take out some liquidity after running up all night. And when it runs for liquidity and I figure out where that is, then I'll be looking for a smart money reversal. So I don't care that it's running down. 10 o'clock candle opening for me is a really, really great confluence and helps me to understand where price is going for the next 4 hours. So anyway, just want you guys to know that. You prefer to stay on the 15-minute XMT? Yeah, okay. Just using M1 and M5. Okay. Okay. So you can see this is where I entered the trade last night. So this was Friday, right? Friday price action finished. And then when price opened at 6 p.m. on Sunday, it had this nice jump up. This is where I entered right here. and it was just a very clean, clear entry. And then I just stayed in it until here. So it was 100 points, but I had like almost no stop loss because I knew we weren't going to fill a gap, just as price had jumped up. So, I mean, my stop loss was nothing. So it was an 11 RR. That's crazy, eh? Okay, so sorry I'm moving my chart around so much. It's a bit of like nervous energy, I guess. While price is buzzing down here. Okay, so here's our London low. We have a nice wick here that just wicked potentially wicked some liquidity there. Again, I'm not doing anything until the 10 o'clock candle opens, but I am anticipating a bullish trade. That would be my preference because I do think that price wants to continue going for those levels above us. So we've swept all of this out here. All of this liquidity was engineered overnight. See all of these lows, this is all liquidity, right? And price just came down and swept all this out. So let's see if it wants to go for Asia low and maybe fill this gap down here, or if it wants to only go down this far, and then we might see a smart money reversal. I'm just going to go on the 1 minute. I just want to get a better look at what's happening. Now, the earliest that I would enter a trade would be 9:45. That's when the macro starts. We've had a nice clean sweep here. I would need to see change in the state of delivery. I would need to see some displacement up, a change in the state of delivery, an SMT with ES on the lower time frame. And sorry, guys, I'm just so ES has not taken out the month open, as you can see, has not taken out the month open, but NQ has. Here's our first presented fair value gap, our ICT first presented fair value gap. Okay, so ES is now almost taking the month open. No, it didn't take it yet. We have a 90-minute SMT, but not a 2 or 3 minute. So again, there's no rush for me. I rarely rush into a trade. Like, I've really tried to stop that behavior because it never served me. Macro will start at 9:45. So I would need to see some displacement. I would need to see, clear smart money reversal, displacement, change in the state of delivery. I would want to see a breaker block ideally. Right now, it hasn't made up its mind yet what it wants to do. I mean, if it came down and took out Asia and maybe go for this gap, that's the other nice thing about having the 4-hour candle on your chart is you can see the fair value gaps on the larger time frame when you're in these small time frames. So it just helps to keep your mind where price is. So we might see a candle dip into the first presented fair value gap and then continue lower. I'm kind of expecting this week to be low volume, but who knows? I mean, is this the week of Santa Rally? Does anybody know? Is this Or is it the first week of January that's the Santa rally? I don't know. Or is it between Christmas and New Year's? I have no idea. If anyone knows, maybe drop that into the chat. So at 10 o'clock, when the 4-hour candle opens, what I am watching for is I am watching for the wick to form. So if price is going to go higher, we're going to have a candle that goes open, low, high, close. So I would be looking first for price to move down on the 4-hour candle and then to go higher. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for the 4-hour to give me just a little bit of a heads up on, for the next 4 hours, where that candle wants to go. The middle part of the candle, the body of the candle, that is distribution. So the wick, if you will, on the 4-hour candles or any time frame candle, that is, you could think of that as manipulation. Nothing clean here, no nice fair value gaps on the 1 minute. So I don't like this stuff. I don't enter on this stuff. This is just a lot of price distortion. We've taken out London low. Now, if smart money is going to want to take price higher, they're going to be wanting to buy, and they'll be buying, big lots at different prices. And this is where you get this price action back and forth, right? They don't just come in and buy 1 million shares or 1 million contracts and it's clean, they get the same price. No, it's like they keep buying at different prices, right? So this is where you get this kind of like choppy effect here. So this is interesting. This candle wicked up here. Like I say, we've swept London. So if price is going to continue further, I'd like to see some structure being built. Like I'd like to see some fair value gaps. I'd like to see price drop, come back into the fair value gaps, and then continue dropping further. That's what I want to see. I want to see something that makes sense to me. For anyone who was here last night or yesterday afternoon in the weekly charting, if you go to 6:55, or sorry, 6:14 Sunday night, you can just zoom in on those candles there. Maybe take a look and see why I entered the trade. Let me know what PD arrays you guys see. You guys know my my entry model for now. So take a look at that 5 minutes worth of, go down to the 2 minute. I think I entered on the 2 minute. And then let me know in chat what were the confirmations for me going into that trade, taking that trade. See if you can identify. So again, a lot of choppy. It could be, smart money, buy, or sell, trying to take everybody out of their buy stops, which would have been down here, right? People thinking price is going to go long. Their stops are down here below London. And it's 9:45. The macro is going to be starting. Okay, let's just take a look, see if we get an SMT here on the 1 minute. We have 90-minute SMT. And we do. So we have this SMT this way and this SMT this way. I like to have a 3-minute SMT, and I don't want to see an SMT on the bottom and the top. You see how it has an SMT on both sides? I don't like that. I wouldn't take a trade with an SMT on both sides. I want to see an SMT on one side. So I'm just going to continue to wait. And it's still just choppy mess here. Now, if there was a short opportunity, where would we be looking? Well, we'd be looking at Asia low and then potentially that gap. And then we have these very nice bigger time frame SMTs, 90-minute going up. So that's an indicator of price going higher. So okay, so I want to see if we have if we start forming a breaker. It's all pretty messy, but we have a low, high, lower low. So we'd want to see a higher high. Don't love it because of all of these wicks. Like I'd like to see a breaker with some nice clean bodies and some structure, right? But I'm kind of throwing things on my chart because it helps me process whether there might be a trade. The other thing that I'm looking for, so I've got my 3-minute SMT on the upside, and I have the 90-minute SMT along the bottom side here. Okay, my change in the state of delivery, here's my low. So my change in the state of delivery, again, I don't love it, would be here. Let's see the reaction off the first fair value gap. Then I would want to see my fair value, my BISI. Don't really have one. Don't have really a clean one. So this to me, like I don't really like this. And I don't have a clean SIBI on the opposite leg. I don't have a clean SIBI until this first fair value gap. So for me, it's still a do nothing and wait. Let's say that in the next 10 or 15 minutes, this breaker sort of pans out and it looks like we may want to go long. What you can do is you can take your fib between the short, the low and the high, and you can put standard deviations on your chart, and I'd be looking for around the -2 as a potential target, although this AM high would be a target if we went long. And in the back of my mind, you know, I have my mind on the higher time frame targets as well. So, but this is how you can use your fib from the breaker block. So between the first this down close candle and this high, so the low and the high, just use your fib between those, and that'll give you kind of like an idea. It could go as much as -4, but kind of like a -2 might be your first area that you'd want to be targeting. So rejecting off this first first presented fair value gap, if price is going to be bullish, it's going to want to stay above the change in the state of delivery, this area right here. And it has rejected off the change in the state of delivery level. I would use this first presented fair value gap as the inverted fair value gap, like on this side of the legs. So I would want price to get above here. Before looking to go long. So we got our breaker, although I don't love it. We have a change in the state of delivery. We have this SIBI, or sorry, first presented fair value gap. The other thing is, for anyone who uses the 30-second chart, you might, if you use the 30-second chart, you might be able to see the fair value gap on the 30-second chart. I don't trade with the 30-second chart, but that's where it becomes useful. In times like this, you're able to spot the smart money reversal just a little bit sooner because you're on the smaller time frames. So it's 9:52. We're in the macro until 10:15, but I want to wait for that 10 a.m. candle to open to see which way which way the candle wants to distribute. You can see that last night, you see how these candles formed here, the wicks to the downside, right? So price open, low, high, close, open, low, high, close. It was bullish all the way. These 4-hour candles really tell the story of, which way price wants to go. So this is not bad displacement. This is a little bit of displacement here. So we've got breaker block, some displacement, change in the state of delivery. Inverted fair value gap, which is the first presented fair value gap. But let's just wait and see what happens. Maybe price wants to take a run for Asia low and that opening gap, but let's see. I mean, if it's going to run higher to those higher all-time highs, it might first want to come down and take one last sweep here. So we have another, 2.5 days of trading left this week, right? I think the market closes early on the 24th. Hello, 3968. If price gets above this fair value gap here, then what I would want to see is I would want to see a nice fair value gap form in these candles, and then I would want to see price come back. So say, it does this, then I want to see price come back into the fair value gap before moving up. That's what that would make me a little bit happier. Again, this is not advice. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. I am tape reading for entertainment. There's risk involved in trading, and you guys should do you. I'm not recommending you take any live trades. Thank you, XMT. I like that you're on the 15-minute 15-minute time frame. You can really get a good picture when you're on that time frame. Once I've established where my change in the state of delivery is, price should not come back through it. Like, I want to get into a trade where price has a mission to get somewhere. And if it's in a mission to go bullish, it shouldn't come back and break below the change in the state of delivery. Ideally, a stop would be somewhere down here or maybe between these two candles. The safer stop is here, but that would be a pretty big stop. So, I'd take a smaller position size if I put my stop down here, just because of just keeping an eye on ES here. So we got a 10-minute and a 3-minute SMT, but we also have a 3-minute SMT up here. This is ES is rejecting off the first fair value gap. And we have this. Again, this is a really important SIBI here. It's an inverted fair value gap, and if price gets above here, then I would have more confidence that price wants to go higher. And then, like I say, I'm still waiting. We have 2 minutes until that 4-hour new candle opens, the 10 a.m. If you haven't watched the 4-hour candles open, it's just a really great way to get a confirmation on where the next 4 hours, wants to go. And again, the wick is where you want to enter. So if it's going to go long, you want to enter on the down wick. And if price is going to go short, you want to enter on the top wick. So change the state of delivery, breaker block. Price has made a 1-minute fair value gap here. We're still not above this inverted fair value gap. But we do have a higher time frame SMT, 90-minute and 10-minute. I just don't like the 3-minute SMT up here. Here's our 10 a.m. candle. Nice push off this fair value gap. ES is chomping around inside that fair value gap. So looking at this candle, we have a wick to the bottom and we have a wick to the top. Anytime we get something like a wick on both sides, we're just going to wait because we don't know which way. It's equal on both sides, right? So it has a bias to both going long and to going short. So we're just going to wait. Showing a little more bearishness. So open high, low, and then close. It might come down to sweep out this down here. Rejecting off this SIBI. Let's see if it presses through the change in the state of delivery. That would be not a positive sign if we're thinking that price would go long. Now, if price continues to do this right through to 10.15, then I will do nothing. I will then wait for the 10.45 macro to start. See, again, we've got the SMT on the 1 minute on both sides of these candles. So that is a indecisive. I want to see an SMT only on one side. It's respecting the change in the state of delivery, which is good. Can you guys put in the chat one if you guys trade London at all? Nobody trades London? Still on 4-hour candle, you know, we don't have a bias. We've got a wick to the top and the bottom. See, as price was moving up last night, we came to this area of 25,794. We had big displacement down. Swept this out. I mean, we could come back into this first fair value gap and then continue lower. But if we clean out Asia low, which could happen, I personally would wait because I would want to take a long. But, you know, everybody's looking for something different, right? Mm. Okay, so now we have this purple. This is a purple power of 3 10-minute SMT. So that's very bullish. Change on the state of delivery. We still want to see it get a little bit north of this SIBI here. And we still have a 4-hour candle that is ambiguous. How can it not sweep? You know, it's so close to Asia low and the opening gap, but How could it not want to go down there and just take that liquidity? This is the bullish breaker. The bullish breaker is we take the low and the high. So between these two candles, we take the low and the high of the low and the high and just pull it across. It's a bullish breaker. So price has displaced out, come back into the bullish breaker. It is respecting the change in the state of delivery. We do have a higher time frame SMT. But we could very easily see price come down here and go for Asia low and the opening gap. It's 10:08. Open high, low, and then close. Maybe, we'll put a fib on here and look at the quadrants. So the 50% level of this wick is right here. And see, the 6 o'clock candle has already swept liquidity from the 2 a.m. candle. So we've swept this. So it's collapsed below the change in the state of delivery. It's going through the breaker block as we speak. It's 10:11, so it's pretty close to the end of the macro run. So for me, you know, I'm going to see if we take out Asia, form a little bit of structure here, and then wait. I'm going to wait for the 1045 macro. Here's our midnight. ES has not taken midnight yet. NQ is just taking midnight now. $3968, you trade London sometimes? Yeah, that makes sense. You should have traded with me last night. So on this side, we have a change in the state of delivery to the downside. Still holding above this low. Wow. If it goes high from here, what a cheeky candle. Oh my God. Can you imagine all the stops? Price coming all the way back down here. Think about all the people who got into a trade to go long. This is all their stops, right? We've got an SMT. ES came lower. NQ did not. So can you see that? ES took out its last low and NQ did not. Interesting. And disrespecting the bullish breaker. So I'm going to take that off. It's 10:15, so that macro has finished. That's crazy. So this candle has respected this low. For those who follow the 369 theory, let me just throw that on my chart so you can see how it works. And we got a 6 on this candle. So the theory is that the 3, 6, and 9 forms at swing lows and swing highs that are strong enough to hold. I use it as a confluence sometimes, but it's like the last confluence that I would use. Some people just love it and they swear by it. I notice it, but I don't, you know, I wouldn't, bet my life on it or even money on it. How about that? But it's interesting to see when you get a 369. You see the 369s that come on my chart? That's an indicator that's part of the indicators that I have from Kronos. And the 369 comes from, you take the time from the clock, so 9:42. If you add up those numbers, it comes to a 6. This time here, 10:08. If you add 10, 1 and a 0 is 1, and then plus 8 is a 9. That's how you get the 9. I used to do them I used to add them up manually in my head, and then someone came up with a this might be a very silly maneuver by smart money here. Oh my God. So here's our SMT. Let's go back to the change in the state of delivery. To go up would be here. Why is it here? Because this is the series of down close candles. Actually, we could just use this one. The last down close candle that sent these candles higher. So that's our change in the state of delivery on the 1 minute. Here is an inverted fair value gap. So we'll change that to an inverted fair value gap. I want to see price get above that. No. Coming back again. Perhaps dropping into this SIBI to continue further lower. Possibly. Hey, greetings from the Netherlands. So good to have you here. My dog is wearing the Netherlands t-shirt right now. Now it's still respecting the change in the state of delivery. Let's see if it can get above the inverted fair value gap here. This candle has swept it. This 10 o'clock candle has come down, swept out the liquidity from the 6 a.m. candle. I still don't have a fair value gap on this side on the 1 minute. Now, if for anyone who has a 30-minute chart on TradingView, this is where the advantage is when you get into these kinds of situations where you want to look on a smaller time frame when price is so tight like this. But I figure, you know what, I do okay in trading. I don't need to pay for the extra like 30 seconds. It's not going to change my life. Okay, so we're possibly coming. So XMT, the way you're implementing 369 theory is seeing the 369 hourly candles from swings that would be a confluence. Okay, thank you. I will have a look for that. Now, where is the next? Here is the next inverted fair value gap right here. It's 1020. We do have these SMTs here on ES that would support a bullish. I still would want to see, well, I still want to wait till 10:45, but we clearly have manipulation here if this holds. I still would like to see it get above this inverted fair value gap. I just feel like it's still a little bit ambiguous. And if price is going to go higher, we don't have to be the first ones in the trade. On the 4-hour candles, this indicator here, the little red lines here indicate a sweep of liquidity. Oh boy. You know how many people are getting faked out right now? This is like stealing your capital 2 days before Christmas. That's miserable. Change to the state of delivery, holding, but this inverted fair value gap is not. Hi, madam. I'm wearing my warm hat because I had wet hair and I live in Canada and I had to walk my dog. So I was feeling cold this morning. So we got a little bit of a mohawk below the inverted fair value gap, but I really want to see some strength that price wants to go bullish. So XMT 89, do you then disregard the 369 on any time frames lower than an hour? Is that like a hard and fast rule for you? Is that what you're finding, that it's not as accurate? So this is a nice sign here, going higher. You guys in the Netherlands, didn't you just celebrate, was it 150? No, it's got to be more than 150 years. What was your celebration this summer? It was a big one. Got some nice push on here. So we're making higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, but very wicky here. Yeah, the gap, Donna test, that was the opening gap, right? Like it hasn't swept Asia, and then below Asia is the gap. You're absolutely correct. Right here. Here's the gap. That was the jump up from Friday afternoon to 6 p.m. Sunday. So we got that gap, and here's our Asia low. Oh, we did tap. Well, we just tapped it. So we did tap the Asia low. I think 1045 is going to clear things up nicely for us. You know how many like millions of traders have gone long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short at their stops taken? So Donna test, I took that trade last night. I entered at 6:14 p.m. and then I took the run all night, which was kind of fun. It was just over 100 points. It was an 11 RR because when price gaps up like that at 6 p.m., it's not going to come, it's highly unlikely that it's going to come down and fill the gap, right? So you don't need to put a stop loss. Like your stop loss needs to be super, super tight, right? You don't need a big stop loss. So it was like a ridiculous RR, 11 RR. Yeah, don't worry about the 369 logic on the lower time frames. Okay. Okay, well, I'm going to watch that on the hourly. So thank you for that tip because that is, I haven't been watching it on the hourly. In fact, I have the hourly chart like set up on a different computer here, and I never turn the 369 on when I have my hourly chart up. So I'm going to start doing that. So I appreciate that. Look at this, below the fair value gap, still above the change in the state. I think smart money is buying, 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 and trying to get all their buys in. That's what I think might be happening. Down to test, like, right? The 11 RRs. Oh my God, I love them. You know, when you can get a great trade like that with almost like no risk, that is a happy day, right? Where is this thing going? Job number one, protect your capital. It's exactly what we're doing right now, right? Everybody let price figure out where it wants to go. I think it's starting to hit me now how tired I am because I haven't gone to sleep yet. I was up with my trade last night. I live in a really, really small town, and our Wi-Fi here is like it can go out anytime. And so I never set up a trade and then go to sleep, knowing that I have a stop loss because sometimes my Wi-Fi dies and then, it just freaks me out because I don't know if my broker if my brokerage would respect a stop loss after the connection has been cut with between my brokerage and TradingView. Okay, come on, man. Give us something. I'm gonna take this low. Yeah, so Asia has not been taken. This was when Asia opened. My bad. Yeah, Asia has not been taken. Sweep again. Yeah, 100%. When do you consider opening up your charts in January? Like I think it's like at least the second week in. Although I think January last year was pretty bad for me. But I still get a lot out of like tape reading and charting and watching where price goes. I get a lot of value from doing that, even if I don't take a trade. And I'm at the point now where I really want to take only 2 to 3 really high value setups each week. Like that's it, right? I want those. I'm looking for those, the bulk of the movement for the week, the bulk of the distribution. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for those 200, 300 point runs. That's the kind of trading that I gravitate towards. So swept again. Sorry, market, we're keeping our Christmas money today. So this black candle here, so technically open, high, low, and then close, but this is a 4-hour candle, don't forget. But we might see this whole thing dial right back and go totally green. Yeah, February. Yeah, I think I recall last January was pretty bad. Like a lot of chop. And for the type of trading that I do, which is, like I like a good 100 points. I like 200 or 300 points, but a good 100 point trade for me is kind of my niche. And I get chopped up. I get chopped up in the volatility. Like that type of trading doesn't work. And I try and adjust. I'm just not great at scalping. Like it's not my favorite type of trading to do. It's funny how we all gravitate towards something different, right? Not even any, really no structure being built here. There's no fair value gaps being built. It's just taking a lot of stops from traders who get stopped out, get back in, trade the other way. Here we go now. So it's 10:35. Let's see if we clean this out down here. Come down and take Asia. Like give us some fair value gaps here that we can work with. See, on the lower time frame, like this candle here is noted as a 6, right? Well, we've already gone lower than that. This one here is a 6. Well, we just went lower here. So this is why I would never use the 369 like as a, bet my money on it kind of thing. Okay, so here, yeah, 25.63 too. Yeah. let's just go, let's just go here for a second. 25,632, 25,632. So here is the candle from the 6 p.m. open, 15 minutes past. And we could come down and sweep down here 25,598. 25,598. Let's just go back up to the 2 minutes. Yeah, so you can also see on the 4-hour candle, it's very easy to see that the 10 o'clock 4-hour candle has swept the 6 p.m. candle from last night. See how nice and easy that is to see when you've got that 4-hour candle on your chart? Why would it come all the way down here and not take that gap? Let's see if we get an SMT here. So we have an SMT, so you can see that ES price came down and took out this low, and here on NQ, this candle came down and price has moved up. It's 10:38, so we're just waiting for that 10:45 macro to start. What are you guys thinking? Are you thinking that price could return to this SIBI and then drop lower and take out the gap? Put a 1 in the chat if that's what you think. If you're bearish and you think that's going to happen, put a 1 in the chart, and then put a 2 in the chat if you think this is the turnaround point and price is going to go bullish starting at 10:45. 2 for bullish, 1 for bearish. So here's our SMT on the 3 minutes long. Yeah, I am long on the higher time frame. But I'd like to see some structure. You know, like I do want to see, I want to see a change in the state of delivery again. You know, we just reset everything, right? Like we just cycle right through to the same things that I'm looking for. A change in the state of delivery, inverted fair value gap, maybe a breaker block, and some displacement. So all we're doing is either validating a direction or invalidating. Hey, heat trader. Two not sure. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Are you at work this week, heat trader? Or are you off now? Hopefully you're off. Oh, good for you. Hope you have a nice Christmas, Heather. Okay, so on the 1 minute, our change in the state of delivery to the upside would then be here. Thank you. Thanks. Thanks, Heather. Waiting to see if the candle gets above this inverted fair value gap, above the change in the state of delivery. I'd like to see, I'm going to take this one out. I'd still like to see some more structure. It's also high resistance liquidity on the way back up. Finally, we have a fair value gap coming in here. There's our inverted fair value gap. And I think XMT, I think we've got some news on Tuesday as well. Did you do a good long scalp? Good for you. So let's see if we get above the change in the state of delivery. Technically, the change in the state of delivery could be down here, but I prefer this one up here just because of the chop. Here's our midnight. And this would be stop loss down here to go long. 1044. We do have manipulation down here. ES is still above midnight. So we have a big SMT. You know what? It's 10:45. We have an SMT. Change in the state of delivery, not quite there yet. Inverted fair value gap, fair value gap. Not loving this. I still think it's pretty messy. But we did sweep. We do have an SMT. We do have a change in the state of delivery, albeit weak. It's ugly. It's not I think eventually it's going to go up. I just don't know what's going up before it takes my stop out. It's so weak here. My stop would be a lot safer down here, but I'm not going to take that much risk. Come on, let's go. I'm glad you said Uncle Market and not Miss Market. And even in a macro, it's really not going anywhere, is it? Okay, guys, I'm going to need some positive, collective, positive energy. Oh my God, come on. Inside the busy, accumulation inside the busy. Yeah, yeah, really good observation right there. That was a really good observation. I didn't think of pulling that one over. So now the question is, where do we want to take our profit? We might just hit this first inverted fair value gap and where do we think we want to take this? Because it's not very strong. Let's see where a long position would take us. Here, our stop loss is here. Oh my God, even to the bottom of the first fair value gap, it's only a 1.5 RR. $25,732. Right to the bottom of this SIBI. Let's see what the reaction is. This month's open here is a key level as well. Kind of ugly equal highs here. I mean, it's all ugly. It's not great liquidity. Look at this. Oh my God. Okay. The breakaway gap here, first partial. Okay. Assuming it goes. It's just very weak. It's just a stupid. I mean, we're in a macro and it's not moving. Let's see. Does anyone have a volume indicator on their chart? Do we have any volume? If this thing goes, I'm gonna laugh so hard. Right now, it's just taking up a bit of my mental capital. I think it's messing with me because the market knows I took 11 RR last night. Oh my gosh. We're looking for like anything that's showing us signs of positive inverted. I honestly can't even remember a time where we were in a macro and this type of non-price action played out. Like I can't even remember. I guess this is Christmas. If this thing goes, I'm gonna laugh so hard. I'm gonna want to trade with you guys every single morning because you're bringing some good luck to the chart. Oh my gosh. Donna Test called it. You were like strong that this thing is gonna go up. Oh my gosh. We'll see. Let's see. It's not over till it's over. 5 more minutes on that macro. This makes me laugh. Okay, let's see if we can get past here. Not even a fair value gap going up. Like this thing is just crawling on hands and knees. Just looking here at the month open, like December open, we rejected off here like 3 times. Oh, let's see what the reaction is at the monthly open and first presented fair value gap. I think I'm going to move to break even. I took one off. Here's Asia High. We might tap this fair value gap and then go right back down and clean out the gap from the open last night. ES is just tapping, its previous week high at 6932, previous week high right here. And starting to fall. The low of the swing high candle. That's where your stop is. One thing we're not getting today is really violent wicks. I thought I was anticipating like a more wiki type of environment today. I think it's just incredibly low volume. I think this is why there's like we're at a snail's pace here. We're not even making any fair value gaps on the way up. Closed above Asia high. Thanks, Donna Tess. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Appreciate your optimism on this trade. Have a good one. I think if we break the low of this candle here, that's going to be it. But we'll see. Donna Test is going to miss the next 500 points up. London High is here. And about to get stopped out. Maybe. Yep. That was fun. I think that was the slowest trade I've ever been in. It'll be interesting to see where it goes the rest of the day, but I'm just going to check and see if we have news tomorrow. I think we do. Let's just take a look. Tuesday, we have tentative ADP weekly employment change, so not sure about that. We have prelim GDP quarter over quarter, durable goods orders. Quite a bit of news tomorrow, actually. 10 a.m. Consumer confidence. And then Wednesday, we have unemployment claims. And then, guys, does the market close? Does futures close early on the 24th, like at 2 o'clock or something? I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna let everybody know, but I think I remember last year it closes. Yeah, you know what? Listen, we'll take every RR we can get, right? So that was a good trade. I mean, it was it was touch and go there for a while, but once it started moving in the right direction, I think that was all right. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have price distortion, choppy around for at least through until this afternoon. Who knows? But let's see what the news brings tomorrow. So I'll be tape reading again tomorrow. I'll send out just a little reminder if anyone's interested in hopping on the train tomorrow. So anyway, thanks guys. Tons of fun. Tons of fun to be hanging out and trading together on these last few days before Christmas. So thank you so much. So go and do something fun now, gym or food or coffee or something. Anyway, thanks guys. Appreciate your time, and I'll see you later. Bye for now.